fellow scrapbookers and card makers and paper crafters. This is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and I am going to do part 2 of my Dream Maker 6x8 album. So here we go. First, we're going to do some stenciling, and this is a great way to make your own background paper. Excuse me. If you don't have any, just quite the right background paper, then you can use different stencils. So these stencils aren't really saying anything, in particular. They're squares, they're slashes, they're dots. So you can use all sorts of kinds of basic, geometric type of stencils and use the colors that, work with your papers and, make your own background papers. So that's what we're doing here. And I just love, this is really fun to do because you're kind of like, you don't know what you're doing. You think you can sort of see it, but you really don't appreciate it until you pull the stencil off. And then it's like, oh man, that is so cool. So there we go. Now you can do this all over. You can use even more different kinds of stencils. So I'm adding some stamping to the stenciling too. And I'm doing second generation. I did a first generation on that first little dot thing. But since we're using Lagoon and Flamingo ink, I'm going to be doing Flamingo dots as well as the Lagoon dots. And I'm putting those right next to the Lagoon dots just because it looks cool, actually. So this is, a simple way. So you're working with the corners that are opposite each other, catty corner to each other. So the other thing that you can do to add interest to your background paper is to add stamping. And this is just kind of, whatever kind of word stamping. It's nothing that you would take the time to read. It probably doesn't. I haven't even read it to see if it says anything. But it adds some texture to a background. So you could do this on the plain cardstock also in different colors. So all of these pages that we've done are outlined with our jotting pen with just a little bitty hand-done frame around it. And it just adds just a little something to the paper to add a little bit more interest. So remember, you're just adding detail to, I used the white pigment, and so the white pigment ink takes much longer to dry than the water base. So it really needs about 20 minutes to dry, and I'm not giving it 20 minutes. So I put the words on the left side of the upper and lower pieces. I'm just taking off some glue there. And so it's on the left-hand side of the upper and lower and the right-hand side of the middle one. So your eye is going from one side to the other side, back to the other side. Now the black background is for the pictures. And you could put like maybe 2.5 inch, maybe 3 inch would fit there. Probably 2 3/4 inches wide pictures could fit there. So I'm going ahead and putting that down on top of the pattern paper. So there we go. Now we're going to add some little detail with some stickers that came with the Dream Maker paper. And I hate to say, but the Dream Maker paper is sold out now. So if you got it and you're using this video to help you make the album, that's great. I'm sorry for those of you who didn't get it in time. I will tell you, when we get these specials, you need to jump on them right away, because even I got caught with the paper getting sold out before I could get to it. So sorry about that, but it was beautiful paper. So, if it's especially beautiful paper, there's a good chance it's going to go in a flat hurry. So I'm doing the opposite page now. And we're doing the same thing, but kind of using the colors in the opposite corners. So starting off with the lagoon in the corners, I'm starting off with pink in the upper corner and just kind of making it opposite. So for the left-hand page, we started in the upper left. In the right-hand page, we're starting in the upper right and using the catty corners to balance the paper. So I'm telling you, you really could make your own patterned paper with, different things. And I'll tell you, the stencils, pardon me, the stencils are very inexpensive. And so you can get a number of stencils that you can use for all different types of things. And you just want to get, circles and dots and squares and slashes and, whatever other kind of geometric pattern. And you can, just kind of have at it and then add a little stamping to it to go with your, whatever theme you're going for. So here I am making the hand done line. Pull your hand down to make your lines. At least that's what I need to do so that the lines are, well, I can't say that they're straight, but they go smoother if you do that. So this is, I did a better job on this side than I did on the other side. I had a hard time finding this particular, I couldn't really tell what went at the end of the lagoon watercolor paper. And then I saw that sticker and it was like, oh, that's what it is. It's got that gold flower kind of group of flowers on it. Okay, so I'm going to go an inch over, about an inch and a half over, and an inch down for the pictures. And I'm keeping these in order according to the, I forgot to make my dots, my second generation dots. So I'm quickly putting those in. And I kind of forgot to put some embellishments on. So you can add your colored gems. So remember I colored some of the silver sparkle gems with the tri-blend markers that coordinate with the lagoon and the flamingo. So it's the turquoise color and the pink blend color. And so I'm kind of keeping these in the little plastic 6x8 pages to go in the album so I know which pages I'm working on. So now once again, this is we're using the slash marks for this background. And you want to hold on to your, see, it slipped. So you have to get your things lined up again. So hold on to your stencil real tight so it doesn't go slipping out from under you. So I'm going, into the opposite corners again. I'm not adding a lot of pressure and putting tons of ink on there. So in fact, the fact that it has different shadings to it, that's a good thing. That just adds some interest to it. Okay, this one had 1/4 inch black strips, and then you put the border at the top of the sticker sheet to go in between the two black strips here. And there's all sorts of nice little things that are written on that little border piece. So now for this, see these slash marks, that kind of coordinates with the stencil. So I'm trying to get my big word one wiped off here. There's a bunch of stuff that's down into the words, and I don't want to get the color into my, I think there was white on there, so I didn't want to get the white ink on my lagoon. So, and I'm not getting a perfect stamping here because I really should have flipped over my layout mat to, get the softer surface. So I'm just kind of covering it. And, really you're going to add the black background for your pictures on that, so it doesn't really make any difference. And here's my handwritten. Just FYI, this video, these clips were speeded up 300% because this second part, I think it was about 2.5 hours of me working, putting it together. So I don't think anybody wants to see that. You get just kind of an idea. Now I'm outlining around the that paper also. You kind of want to outline all the papers. And it really, when you don't, it really makes a big difference. So I'm kind of doing that. And I'm glad that I didn't use a ruler because, good grief, it really would have taken me a whole lot longer to do that. Okay, so everything is going on a slant. So I'm just trying to figure out, how to put the paper so that it sort of matches what's on the instructions to have things fit. And this one gets a little title of its own. And I'm going to do in my heart. So I'm going to do in my, and then that got a little thick. And then heart. There we go. That one did much better. And then the picture is going to go above it. And so I'm just kind of putting these on also on kind of a tilt. Kind of adds a bit of whimsy when you don't have everything all lined up perfectly. So when it's on a tilt, it's a lot more interesting when things are on a tilt instead of so perfect. So that's one of the die cuts, and the heart is a die cut. Those are all die cuts that came with this kit, with the it's with the embellishments. And so the half circle is going to go on one, and the other half is going to go on the other. And we're putting a pink colored gem there and a kind of dragonfly, a gold dragonfly on the other. And like I said, you can add a lot more gems to these if you want to. You could add all sorts of, you could add gold thread to these, all sorts of stuff. Just kind of like whatever you like. The gold threads, the threads are really, the shiny threads are really, really pretty to add to things. Okay, so here we go on the opposing page. And here we go with our lagoon again. We're going to start off on the opposite corner. A little dark, a little light, just kind of vary your pressure on there, and then you can kind of drag it out to the end. So it's very, very cool. We're being consistent here. So we start off with the left, and we use, go to the left corner, and then when we go on the right page, we go to the right corner. So here we go again with the words. And I started, okay, I'm going to get a better press, I hope, but I didn't. I don't know. It must have something to do with maybe the ink. I didn't press it enough into the ink that it didn't come out. So I want to stamp off of the paper too. So you want to bleed off of the paper. And once again, you don't get perfect stamping. You're going to be covering it up with a black, a good portion of the black background just to, have a place to put your pictures. So once again, I'm going to use that nice little border and cut off the G on morning. It's a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful morning is on there. And then we highlight it in black on either side. So the Sundance is that's a good contrast for the turquoise. Kind of like the opposite color on the color wheel of blue is orange. And so this is kind of turquoisey. So this is sort of a, you know, a yellow with kind of a orangey, bit of an orangey tint there. So I'm stamping the Celebrating You. So remember, this is a stamp set that comes with Dream Maker. It's a Dream Maker stamp set. So you get two stamp sets. You get ones with all sorts of little titles and bigger titles, and then the other one are the flowers and the kind of blobs that add a lot of interest to your scrapbooking or your cards. I mean, this is a good, there's all sorts of good sayings, sentiments on this stamp set for cards, like Celebrating You. Be a great birthday card. So there we go. See what I'm saying? There's so much of the what we just stamped is covered up with the, and here's that other circle that's going over to the side there. So I'm going to move this over so a little bit more of the butterfly can show. There we go. Those gold hearts and butterflies and dragonflies really stick out nicely. So that's a little bit of a journaling thing. You can either put the date and the location, people's names. So, you know, I really wanted to just do a straight talk while I did this video, but it just came out to be so long. I mean, 2.5 hours. I just don't think anybody would sit there for 2.5 hours watching a video. Let me know if you would, but I don't know. You can get the idea of what I'm doing without having to go through this slow me trying to figure out, think while I'm doing this. Because I'm reading, you know, I read over the instructions. Now I'm trying to read over the instructions before I start a project. It helps a little bit, is all I have to say. But there was so many instructions to this particular album that I probably read the instructions over several times, and I still missed some stuff. So there we go. I like this. I love this background paper. It looks like it was a homemade splatter thing, and I'm using the Faith as a title for this little page because I'm thinking I really kind of wanted to put Friends, but Friends were, my alphabet was kind of too big for it to fit on this 4x6. So Faith, I knew Faith was fitting because that's what they showed on the instructions. But I kind of wanted Friends or Friendship, or so I couldn't really find a different title. So I went ahead and used Faith. So I think friendship is based on trust, and trust is faith in somebody. I didn't have another gold. I used a gold heart there. I actually needed that heart on the last page I did. So I should have taken that off of here and put something else there. But I don't find that out until later on. Okay, so these are these 4x6 and the 3x4s. Those pages that have those sizes, they are like this might be page 12 and 13, and then in between page 12 and 13 is page 13A, B, C, and D. So that's what these are. So these would be pictures that go with the pictures from 12 and 13. Okay, so I'm cutting up the last of that border strip, and I'm taking the specific phrases off of it to put on the next, I think, 3 of these little mini pages, these 4x6 pages. Oh, my lines. So sad. I'm sure you can do a much better job of those lines than I can. So I'm using this other phrase, and I'm putting my picture background on there and adding the phrase over it, and then I outline around the phrase in black to make it stand out. You know, when you get used to using this black outline, it kind of looks boring without it. Then I tuck a big butterfly under there and add a few journaling lines. Not a whole lot, but something to put just a little something in. I'm so excited. My son has a girlfriend now. And they went out for pizza tonight. So he sent me pictures of the pizza. I think, oh, you know, if you take pictures, you can use these little albums to make little scrapbook. But I think I'm rushing things, so just tell me to shut up because, oh my God. I'm so excited for him. But he hasn't wanted to deal with a relationship for quite a while. He just hadn't had the kind of job that would, you know, when you're working at night, it's kind of hard to have any kind of, a relationship going. But he's not working at night anymore. He's working during the day. Yay. Of course, guess who works at night? She does. But she only works, she's a nurse, and I think she works three shifts a week. Okay, so we're coming down towards the end of the book here, and this page is going to get these 3 strips. So these are going to fill side to side. So it's going to go a ½ an inch down and right to the very edge. And then I just line these up with it. Super, super simple. Okay, now what you would want to do right here is to go ahead and make the line around those 3 colors as if it's one box, which I didn't do until after the fact. Okay, so they have you putting some flower stamps on these in flamingo and turquoise. And so I'm kind of covering up so I don't go over, but I want the flowers to kind of flow over the edge but not get on the background. And I'm kind of eyeballing, getting it lined up there, the 6x8, and coming down 2½ inches, and kind of getting to the edge. I'm keeping that open so I can slip a picture under there. I'm putting a little heart on there and making an outline of the heart. See how it sticks out? Okay, so now see this little edge? You're going to keep that for the next page. So it actually could have gotten shoved over a little bit more, and I could have cut off more of that circle. Okay, here's another heart, and I'm outlining the outside and the inside. And then there's another little yellow heart, outside, just the outside on this one. And see the difference that makes. So, and then I realized I forgot to do a bunch of stamping on there. I think I was supposed to use some of the big letter, the big stamp, the big word stamp, and put some white lettering. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And probably not as much as they have you do. I'm just trying to get it cleaned off because I left some lagoon on my white stamp pad. Oy. Okay, then I'm using the little letters, and I'm stamping those in black. And of course I put them upside down, so don't tell anybody, please. Just a few little words here and there. And a gem. And you could put a whole lot more gems on this. I'm really being chinchy with the gems here. I think I was getting tired. It's a lot of work. It was a lot of work putting this book together. but I ended up with a really nice book. It's going to make a nice little album. Okay, so here's the opposite page. Now this one is in blue. Had to change my battery out there. I just completely ran it down. Okay, so we've got the glacier starting 1/2 inch down. Then we've got lagoon getting bumped up to the glacier. And then we've got periwinkle. So this is what I was talking about that I needed to do on the pink one, is just do a box all around, all 3 of them, as if they were one box. And I put this in black, and it was supposed to be in lagoon because I had the black there and I didn't put it away. Dang it. But that's okay. I do another blue one. So there, if I've got an extra one, that's okay. Okay, and then I'm doing some flowers, the smaller flowers in flamingo. And see, that's where that one goes. So it's a continuation of the circle. So this is going to go right in there. But I should have done some more of the stamping of the letters, the lettering on the big letter stamp. I think I was getting tired at this point and missing things. So that pinkish heart that I was telling you about, that's where it needs to go, right in between those. But I put a black heart there instead. And that's okay. That looks all right. So here I'm doing my line around the pink box. And you see the difference that it makes? Here we go. So there's that one. So that was page 13, 13, and 14. I'm just adding some of the words from the small piece. And some just little bitty journaling lines. I mean, I don't even know what you could write on those. Date, person, place. So there's page 14. My little blue heart came off. Okay, now we've got these little guys. They're 3x4s, so we've got 8 3x4s. And I'm taking both of them out and doing both of them kind of at the same time. So each one is going to get the line and a little picture and some arrows that came off of the die cut sheet. I like all those arrows. There's some fun arrows that's just a straight arrow that I'm cutting off, but then there are some right angled arrows. So if you haven't subscribed to me, I hope you think about subscribing. And if you'd like to leave a comment or a thumbs up, I'd definitely appreciate it. And, you know, if there's anything, other questions that you've got, please feel free. I love this arrow. Look at that. Is that not cool? I love that. And then a little bitty heart is going right there. Ta-da! So there's the front and back getting tucked away. Okay, so I'm doing that 3 more times. Don't you love that color? It really is beautiful paper. It would be nice if they wanted to reorder it, but I don't think they will. It's too close to the end of the month, and they gave it until June 30th. Okay, outline around this wonderful heart and on the inside. And just a little bit of the words and the small little word group. We're almost there, people. So this is a great idea to make an album. So you can use, we have these pages that come in 6x8 or in the 2-on-1 page, or actually you can fit 4 pages in there. But they're 4x6s. So you can have 2 4x6s front and 2 4x6s on the back. And then we also have the 6x8 page in the 3x4 format, where you can get 4 3x4s on one side and 4 3x4s on the other. So very, very easy way to make an album that has a lot of interest to it. And adding my small group of lettering there. And some white daisy flowers. Look, isn't that beautiful? I mean, I think it's just really pretty to have the words and the flowers there, and I'm using the small flowers too, as well as the big flower. So it just makes for a whole lot of interest. So I'm gonna, this is a pop-out heart. This little group gets 3 hearts. So outline, a small heart, and then a bigger heart. A little too much glue, story of my life. It's okay. And then we've got our big letters here that we're adding. And then we're gonna put the place for a little 2x2 picture. And our outline, can't forget that. And this is going to get a little chasing sunshine. I clean off my stamps, put them back so I don't lose them. I have since lost a blob, so I'm gonna have to do a cleaning up around my desk here to see if I can find one of my blobs from this stamp set, and then I'm putting a big heart there. Wow, we're almost there. We are almost there. So, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And, you know, I will be continuing to make videos for those of you who like to work with a helping hand. Little heart here. And it's a way for, if you're doing something completely different, you can get some ideas on some different things to do with your scrapbooking and card making. And I'd love it if you watched me and see what you can gain from it. And if nothing else, just learn that things don't have to be perfect. You know, give yourself a break. You don't, as I've said many times, perfection is overrated. So enjoy what you're doing. You know, sit back and see what you've done, and then, you know, put some pictures to it. And the pictures are the star of the show anyway. So I think we're going to make some more lines here, if I'm not mistaken. So some more journaling. So there we go. And we've got our last little pocket to put these in. Okay, so this is the last. So I'm going to go through the entire album here for you to kind of look at and see how the whole thing looks together. So there's a front page and page 1 and page 2. There's our big dragonfly. And page 3. Page 4, that's fun. Looks like birthdays. 4 and page 4 and 5 and 6 and page 7. Those are fun. They're diagonal. And here's an A and B page. 6A and B, 7A and B, and then page 8 and 9, and page 10, we just did those, and 11 with 11AB, CD, and then page 13, and then page 13, A, B, C, D, E, F, and the back page. And there we go. So thanks so much for watching. Bye now.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.